Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the premium picks tab of pickdawgz.com. And there's also a link in the description. All right, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in college basketball. First up, we have George Mason and Duke. This one's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on the ACC network. For me in this one, George Mason got to be one of the favorites in the A10 this year. A good margin behind Dayton and VCU, but still a top 100 team in Ken Palm, and a team at 7-3 right now. They're on a 5-game win streak, but they have played a pretty weak schedule this year. They ranked 331st in strength of schedule. Their one step-up game was a true road game at Marquette. They lost that one by 19 points. I think this loss in this one's going to be by a bigger margin. I look for Duke to win this game and cover the number. I just don't think George Mason matches up too well, particularly in the backcourt. I just don't love the guards on this team right now. KD Johnson transferred from Auburn. He's had some issues. He's also been banged up, so he might not even play in this one. But the depth for the backcourt for this team just not my favorite. And I think the turnovers are going to be a big problem for George Mason in this one. That's really the key for me in the backcourt. No trustworthy facilitator of offense. They're turning the ball over about 21% of their possessions. Duke is a strong defense. I mean, one of the best defenses in the country right now. They force a good amount of turnovers. They're going to force a lot of tough shots, force a lot of turnovers. You're going to have to earn it against Duke, especially when they're playing at Cameron Indoor. And I just don't think George Mason finds enough successful possessions offensively to keep up in this game. I think George Mason defensively will be able to put up a fight for a little while, but in the end, I think Duke is just too much. I'm going to go with the Blue Devils in this one. I think it's going to be a blowout win. Next up, speaking about the A10 and Dayton, we're going to see the Flyers in this one against UNLV. This game is also going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Dayton is right now 22nd in the country in the AP polls, and in the Ken Palm ratings, they're 26th in the country. So very, very strong team, the favorite to win the conference by far. And there's also been some rumors I've heard of a potential move to the Big East. I think that would be a great move for Dayton's basketball program. The A10, I think Dayton's outgrowing the A10 by a good margin. So we'll see if the Flyers make a move there. But in this game, I think, Dayton's coming off the big win against Marquette. I do think there's a little bit of a letdown spot going up against UNLV. I've mentioned I think UNLV is better than its current record, better than its against the spread record. I think going forward, we're going to see this team start to cover some more spreads, start to do a little bit better for us because we've failed to cover the number with UNLV a couple of times on the Bank Shot Breakdown. But I still think when you look at this team shot quality wise, they're taking good looks offensively, forcing tough shots defensively. They do a good job at taking care of the basketball. They get to the free throw line. Their free throw numbers are improving, and they're a good three-point shooting team. And that makes them a really dangerous underdog on the road, especially when you're giving them this many points. I'm going to go with UNLV in this one, plus the points against Dayton. Next up, it's DePaul and St. John's. I accidentally skipped over this game when I started recording, but this is the first game on our board. It's 6:30 Eastern on Peacock, and it's a Big East matchup in the conference. We've talked about DePaul. This is a great team in non-conference play. They played a weak schedule. They stepped it up against Texas Tech and Providence. Lost that first game against the Red Raiders by a good margin, 14 points. Lost in overtime against Providence, their first conference game of the season, 70-63. Right now, I'm fading DePaul in conference play until further notice, until we start seeing the prices we saw last year and in previous years, because I think St. John should be close to a 20-point favorite in this game, if not a larger than 20-point favorite. I just think when you look at St. John's, how well they play at home and the pace of play, they're one of the fastest teams in the country. It makes them an even more dangerous favorite, as you can get more possessions with a team like St. John's. And DePaul is actually one of the fastest defenses in the country. They're quite aggressive. So I think St. John's going to be able to get a lot of possessions, a lot of easy buckets. I think they win this game by a good margin. DePaul, they could be a program on the rise, but we just haven't seen it from them in Big East play consistently in a really long time. So I got to go with St. John's. Lay the points. Next up, we have Central Michigan and Mississippi State. This one's 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Central Michigan 5-4 straight up this season. They've had some nice wins. That most notably the win over George Mason as a pretty big dog in that game. They won 70-69. For me, Central Michigan, I don't love the fact that this team does lose the ball quite a bit offensively. 347th in turnover percentage offensively. Not going to get it done against Mississippi State. I mean, this is a very strong defense. They're going to force tough shots. They're also going to force plenty of turnovers, and it could lead to plenty of fast break opportunities. in this game for the offense. I mean, the offense is already one of the more efficient offenses in the conference. They're 19th in the country, but their team is taking care of the ball. They're improving those shooting numbers. We know last year and even the year before, Mississippi State had great defenses. Their offenses were getting good looks in terms of shot quality. Not too many better teams than Mississippi State, but their effective field goal percentage, their three-point percentage, free throw percentage, some of the worst in the country. Now this year, we've seen this team get some shooters. They're starting to score a lot of points. They're winning a lot of games. I look for them to win this game and cover the number as well. Give me Mississippi State. I'm laying the points. And the final game we're to talk about for the Tuesday card in college basketball, it's Radford and Colorado State. This one is going to be a late game, 9 p.m. Eastern. And Radford played a game on the West Coast last game against Utah. They lost that one by 18 points. They covered the final number, the closing number. I think they were getting about 19 and a half, 20 points. But for me, it really wasn't that competitive of an effort from the Highlanders. And I didn't think they matched up well against Utah. I don't really think they match up well against Colorado State. Now, the Rams, this is not their best team. We've seen some strong teams from Colorado State in the last 5 years or so, some tournament teams and teams that went on nice runs. But this team, 5-5 straight up. They've lost 2 in a row, till Colorado, their rivals, and VCU most recently. That game against VCU, though, was quite competitive. I think Colorado State gets better as the season goes along. I don't think they're going to be one of the better teams in the Mountain West this season, but I think they'll be able to find a few upsets here and there. And they're a very good home team. This is a team that has great home court advantage. Defensively, I think Colorado State is where it needs to be. They're a good defensive rebounding team, which is important against Radford. They force a lot of turnovers. They force tough shots. Offensively, this team does have some issues. They're not getting many second chance opportunities. Not really doing a great job from the three-point line or really doing a good job of getting to the free throw line. Their offense is kind of been one-dimensional, relying on a lot of mid-range buckets and not so great shots. But against a Radford defense, that last game against Utah was just not competitive at all. We saw Utah score so many easy buckets in that game, especially at the rim, which is not really what the Utes are known for. I think Colorado State's offense opens up in this game. They find a win and a cover, a feel-good win at home. Give me Colorado State in this one. I'm going to lay the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.